We are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and today I am joined by Mr. Alex Fanjul. Alex, how are you today?
Good man, how you been?
Listen, short, hairy, and Cuban, not any better.
Yeah.
Alex, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody that may not be familiar with who you are?
What's up, guys? Alex, I'm here in Madeira Island, Portugal. We have a boat called Luna and just recently acquired Sorted, one of Fly's here World Cup winning boats. Uh, Moved here from Miami, originally born in Miami, and been here for about 6 years now.
Damn, you're one of them Miami-born Cubans, huh?
Yeah, I'm actually my both my parents were born in Cuba, even you could see it in these blue eyes and red hair.
Listen, my little brother has blonde hair and hazel eyes. That comes from the Spain lineage.
Yeah, yeah. We have
Yeah,
a
so
lot of family still in Spain.
yeah, so no. It's I got the dark skin complexion from my mom, but that light skin, hazel eyes is from my grandfather's lineage on my dad's side. So that's direct descendants of Spain.
Yeah, when most people see a 6'4" white guy with red hair and blue eyes, they don't think that I speak Spanish.
You know what the funny thing is? I can just hear the hint, not only of Spanish, but 305 Spanish.
Oh, that's the
It's
only Spanish I know.
It's a little, just a little bit of an accent, and it's definitely 305. I'm waiting for you to throw out some kind of que bola sere,
Oh,
something.
that won't come. That won't come.
Uh,
I moved to the mountains for a long time and there was zero Spanish spoken there. So,
you got out of the 305 long enough
yeah.
that
I
it's
speak when we travel, it comes back, but now trying to learn Portuguese, Spanish, knowing Spanish helped, but Portuguese is very different.
totally
And
different. You can
we,
understand it fairly well, can't you?
some things, yes, like the base words will be the same and like the one letter will be different or they pronounce it differently. But when we travel to Mexico or we're just in Costa Rica and Panama last year, and then going from 5 years of trying to speak Portuguese, going back to Spanish, then it's like
You're
I forgot
completely
how to speak
confused.
Spanish almost, you know?
I I've noticed I can understand Portuguese. I can understand Italian fucking fantastic. Uh, and it's amazing because I don't know if you've paid attention or looked back in, but Spanish is a blend of Arabic and Latin. So all the time I spend in the Middle East, I pick up a lot of Arabic words.
That's originally going back to like Basque in Spain though. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Arabic influence there.
Yeah, well, that's where it came from. It came from Arabia into Spain, and then it's kind of like fanned out since there. But with all the traveling that I do, I notice I'm like, wait a second, I'm picking Italian's probably the easiest one for me to pick up.
That was the most difficult. I went to the airport and then in Italy, they don't speak other languages. Like most Europeans, like you go and they speak a little Spanish or this. And
Little
being from the
French.
States, not many people speak multiple languages. So I feel pretty comfortable when we travel. And then I went there and I just got stuck. Like there was zero
Did you
communication.
really?
Yeah, it was a pretty hard barrier. Like some words I could pick up on, but that was probably the roughest spot.
Wow. I see for me, I went there. What year did I go there? I think it was 17. I flew out there to fish a bluefin tuna tournament. And it was great, man. I spent 2 days in around, they called it Rome, but it wasn't Rome proper. It was Rome down by the water where the river that runs by Vatican City, it dumps
Yeah.
into the Med. The marina was right alongside it, and that's where we fished out of.
Okay.
And just a very typical fish town, fish community, a lot of commercial boats, a lot of little boats. That's what I was most surprised at is how many little boats. The amount of inflatable boats that were fishing this tuna tournament was amazing. But they were tricked out. We're not talking like a little Zodiac with a tiller engine. We're talking like a 20 footer with a rocket launcher and a rocket launcher that can hold like 850s. And it was the
Yeah,
shit,
like
man.
a proper setup rib now you'd
It,
see on like
yeah,
as a tender boat.
exactly. It was proper. I mean, shit, I'd go to the Bahamas. Well, fuck, we're Cuban. We'd come over on a raft. So, uh,
I took my 17-foot skiff to the Bahamas one weekend because the boat I was gonna go on, it was for, I don't know, regatta weekend. I couldn't, some long weekend there in Bimini, you know, 25 years ago. And the boat I was going bailed, all my friends were going, and I had a little 17-foot Scout Bay boat, and we just threw fuel cans and zoomed it over. And
yes,
great. They look at you
yes.
crazy when you show up. Now I see people do it on jet skis and everything on a calm day. It's,
On them
you know,
calm
it's
days,
not a
listen,
big
if you've
rock.
got a flotilla of 15 jet skis, I'd do it. I wouldn't think twice. Going by yourself is a different thing, but
Yeah.
how long? And you said it was 25 years ago?
No, I don't know. I'm turning 40 now, so well, maybe I was like 17 or something. So yeah,
That sounds like a
that was a
teenage thing to
while.
do.
Yeah, 23 years ago.
Yeah, that's definitely a teenage thing to do. I wouldn't do it
Yeah.
now, but at 17, fuck yeah.
At that, and that was like before there was as much, cell phone tracking and all this stuff. It was just, all right,
Bro,
doing
you
it.
you went old school. You had a couple passenger pigeons with a little note, "Mom, I made it." Whoosh.
Oh,
Go
I
home
wouldn't
with
say, I wouldn't even tell them. I would just go. I'd be in, you know,
yeah,
I would have gotten the hard no if I said, oh yeah, I'm heading to Bimini on the skiff this weekend.
bro, you lived your life like I did. I was just telling somebody the story the other night. I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15 years old. I broke my curfew. I mean, really broke it. Not like 10 minutes late, like 4 hours late. It's like, where the fuck have you been? I'm like, oh, I went to the Poison concert down in Miami. I didn't tell you you could go to the Poison concert. You didn't tell me I couldn't go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather ask for
Better,
forgiveness than
exactly.
permission, man.
Yeah, I
You know,
couldn't sneak out. I put all this money in my truck when I was younger and had like a sleeper truck, but it was the loudest thing in South Florida. So if I wanted to sneak out, I'd have to push that thing for a half a mile just before I could start it.
oh my God. No, I didn't have that issue.
Yeah.
I just have somebody pick me up. Just pick me
That
up
happened. I lived
along.
in a gated thing. They had to call the house, so that was a big no-no also.
Ah, now here's the question: was the fence to keep people in or out? Was it?
Probably both, because we lived on there on the C-100 over by Snowden's
Uh-huh.
and now Palmetto Bay area, and they had that easement that runs along the canal, so you could live in any gated community. But I drop my truck in by a bridge and ride the whole easement and drive back and forth there, so
And nobody
people could
knew.
come and go as they please.
It's,
Yeah.
it's so funny, and I'm not trying to get political, but this whole conversation of let's put up a border wall and this and that, and it's like, man, we've got so many walls around houses nowadays. But the question is, are you trying to keep people out or trying to keep people in? You
Yeah,
know?
that's a good thing here in Madeira. It's like a huge shift because there's no practically no crime, no theft. I remember in COVID, someone left their car unlocked in the city, and one of the handful of homeless people there went into the unlocked car and took like a handful of change, and that made like front page paper. You know,
Really?
yeah, that was like a huge deal. Like I've left my wallet a couple times out or at once at a bakery, and I think I had like 2 grand on me to pay some boat bill, and that's like 2 months' salary for a local here. And they just picked it up and turned it into the police with all the money and everything. In
Wow.
Miami, if you had that sitting next to you on the counter and you turned your head to talk and do this or something, you look back, it's gone.
Bro, if you had it in your hand and turned your head, you'd be missing
Yeah.
at the fucking wrist. A couple of years
Yeah, it's
ago,
completely different to get used to here.
yeah, a couple of years ago, I was out in Abu Dhabi. I was introducing a couple of friends of mine to each other. Somebody from the Middle East, one of my guys here, and my friend that I was with from the States. He had his wife and his daughter wanted to go to a water park. So we went to this water park and I take off my glasses, I take off my phone and my wallet and I put it on the thing and I covered it up with a towel because I didn't want the sun to bake my phone. He goes, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm covering up my phone so it doesn't, overheat." He goes, "You're just gonna leave it there?" I go, "Nobody's gonna steal it, man. Nobody's gonna steal it. I left it right there and it was fine, man. It's not like here, man.
Yeah. In the States, it's completely different. And
Yeah,
it's a
man.
population thing, culture, everything plays a role into it. Like here
Huge.
also, if you, if not to bring it up, for instance, like what happened in the Canaries with some theft recently, we
Oh,
live on tiny islands, and if you steal this equipment, there's not not many guys that are going to buy it, and they all know each other. Like what you have to,
where are you going?
yeah, that's it.
Where are you going? And it wasn't even a local that stole it, dumb motherfucker.
No, that's a
Oh,
whole nother thing. But
yeah, that's a
like
whole nother
we leave
thing.
every charter boat here in the marina. We have like just canvas zip ups in the back and stuff, isinglass, whatever. And we just I put my 130s and LP inside the salon of the boat on the floor and just zip it up and leave every day. And we come back and it'll be there the next day for years. No one touches anything.
No, listen, like you said, there's culture and then there's population. When it's a small population where everybody knows everybody, it, no, you're gonna,
It's not.
especially, cash. Okay, I can understand cash and they still turned it in, but a 130? Come on.
Yeah, and not custom ones at that, but
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. What are you thinking? So explain to me how you said you've been over there 6 years now?
yeah, we came right at the beginning of COVID.
Oh boy.
So
You
it's
picked the
been a while. It
perfect,
doesn't seem that long ago, but it was that long ago.
me personally, you're welcome to steal this. You don't have to. I know some people have stole it from me. I like to call it BC, before
Before
COVID.
COVID, yeah, I've heard
Two,
that around.
219 BC. What? Before COVID, man. And it does seem like it's so long ago, but man, did it, we were just talking about it last night at dinner. I don't do well with people telling me what to do. Man, if you ask me, "Hey, would you mind?" Man, I'll fucking bend over backwards and do the stupidest things. They're like, "Why'd you do that?" Because he asked me. But if you tell me what to do, I'm gonna tell you to fuck off faster than you can
Yeah, don't
imagine.
bark here, you'll get barked back.
Oh my God. And don't push your fear onto me. So leave me alone. So I'm glad that's all over with. But you moved over there at the beginning of COVID, and you guys were locked down pretty hard over there, weren't you?
Yeah, at the time, I had been planning to come fishing here with Carrie for a few years. He had been invited me. I was just real busy with work and we never lined it up. Finally, the timing aligned and we're like, oh, we'll come out. Frothy made it work. So, at the time, you weren't allowed to fly as a US citizen into the EU unless you had like special circumstances. And he got us some paperwork and we were all able to fly in. At that time, it was great. So we had the island to ourselves. The cruise ships weren't coming. The tourism hadn't picked up as much yet. And we just came on vacation to fish. I came fish 5 days with Frothy, Carrie, and our friend Mark Granite. And it was the trip got pushed back into September because of COVID, and
Uh-huh.
the marlin had kind of like phased off by then. There was, I think, one marlin caught by a boat the week we were here, but we caught giant big eyes every day. And it was a absolutely beautiful island. We're just bullshitting all day. You fish along the coastline. You drop the lines in as you turn the seawall in the marina. And we just kind of fell in love with the place. We talked to Frothy and talked about real estate and properties and rentals and the cost of living here. And while we were at his house one night, he just called his landlord and he had another house up. And we decided to, like, oh, let's just rent a vacation home here. And we did that, brought our stuff back a month later, and 2 weeks later we decided like we're just gonna stay, and we bought a house, and 3 days later bought the boat.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
and you bought the Luna, correct?
Luna, yeah.
Okay. What was it before it was the Luna?
It was still Luna. We
Okay.
kept the name of the boat. It was it had been gone through a few hands over the years here, and it was owned by a doctor at the time that I bought it, and was sitting in the boatyard or in the Funchal Marina, and they hadn't used it much. It was sitting. The motors had like it was a 25-year-old boat with 2,000 original hours. Like it sat there, which is pretty much worst thing that could happen. They'd
For
go
any
drink beer
boat.
on it in the marina. And it was the first boat we saw, and I was like, I don't like this thing. Let's get the fuck out of here. And went and saw the only other two boats for sale at the time on the island, and I was like, that Luna boat is looking pretty nice. Like, because to import a boat is a issue shipping, and then you have to do import taxes and change of registration. All that's a pain here. So we ended up buying Luna and put pretty much the same amount or more of what we bought it for into it to like revamp the boat. It didn't have a chair, it didn't have outriggers. It was an The little Marlin bridge had like didn't even have a bimini top. It was just wide open with an antenna. And
Wow.
so we stripped the whole boat down and rebuilt the thing top up. And we held our own here since.
Nice.
Uh,
Now, what kind of boat is it?
it's a Beneteau. It's a French-made boat. It's an
Okay.
Antares. It's like a not a custom, a factory, like a factory boat.
It's a factory European boat.
Yeah.
You came with American ideas into the EU, and that shit don't work very well.
No, I saw everything here. All the lines are different. It doesn't, and nothing makes sense. So like we Americanized it as much as we could. I put we built a that you can't get aluminum here easy, so it's all made of stainless. So
Oh,
like our whole
wow.
tower is made of stainless. And then we built a hard top here on the island out of PVC board and fiberglass, and bought an American style chair, re reinforced the gunnels, because here if you just have screws into wood, that thing will get ripped out on a hard crossbite. Some boats have lost chunks of fiberglass when a fish hits if their drags are up too high or something happens wrong.
Which is notorious.
Yeah, we've snapped like the little bar in the bottom of the rod holder that pins the
Oh,
rod in place.
you've broken the pin?
Yeah, and definitely done some damage to the rod butts and the rod holders. If you have your drag up too high, we normally fish light drag, but sometimes we switch it up for a certain reason. It's up high, or if you get a fish that hits the short and just we get a lot of crash bites here, and if it just crosses and you don't have swivel bearings or something, and your clip's too tight, it can do some damage.
Damn. I don't know what it is for a rod holder. We always figured it's about 100 pounds of torque to break the pin in the fighting chair,
Yeah, we've
in the
we've bent
gimbal.
the shit out of those. That
Listen, I go
sometimes
through.
it's more amateur anglers, like they get a little tired and they'll start rocking or putting all their weight on one side, and they're constantly putting a torque and twist on the rod, which they're fighting themselves at that point. But the pins in all of the rod holders, we've definitely bent and re-weld new ones in.
All right. Yeah, when I'm giant tuna fishing in Nova Scotia, but we're also fishing 250 pound test. So there are times we're getting 80 pounds of drag on it. And You get a little torque and you don't turn the chair fast enough,
Yeah.
you can hear it click.
Yeah, we try to fish pretty light here. Like we feel the bigger fish, especially if they feel the force, they'll go on like that death dive, and we try to avoid that. We want to keep the drag light, keep them up top, and use the boat as much as possible to, either chase it down or back down to it. And then when we do get them to go on that dive, we'll actually hit them like let's say if we're at fishing at 20 pounds or 18 or 20 pounds throughout the fight and they start to go on the dive, we'll bump it up to 26 or 28
Okay.
for 5 seconds, then almost go to practically free spool and stop the boat and let the fish real like it
Try to
loses all the
swim.
pressure, still keeping the line tight, and then they'll start to come up and like you're gonna lose some line. Let it lose line, let the fish come up, and then we gain it quick with the boat. But
What are you setting your drag or what are you setting your strike at before the bite, waiting for the bite?
out of the clips, or
Yeah.
we fish tag loops out of the clips,
Okay.
and at the bite we're at like 17 pounds.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. So we got a lot of crash bites here, so we don't need the like super heavy drag. And obviously we hand sharpen our hooks and make sure our tackle's on point. But the when it's if you do get a lot of bites here where they'll crash it and then let it go. If you did miss a hook up, they're right on it again. You take a couple cranks and before you can even try and get it into the clip, the fish is on there. A lot of times we'll grab it and on the way you're just hand feeding the bite. And with the J hook lures.
What are you using for hooks?
Fudu, ring eye, um, nine, tens, and elevens.
Okay.
Uh,
Those foods seem to have become very popular here in the last 5 to 6 years.
yeah, I've used they have different series. There's Southern tuna, Ultra tuna, Marlin this. They have a little different shape in the J. Some have a longer shank. Uh, the way we do a stiff twist rig, so we have 530 liter doubled over, and then we bend like a piece of malin wire like this of
Oh,
400-pound malin wire,
okay.
and we'll feed that through the eye of the hook and through the negative space in the crimps where you're in between where your line sits.
Okay.
And so you're like if your top crimp that's going into the bump stops here, and then you have your lower crimp in the hook, you'll have four items like your doubled over 530 and the doubled over 400 malin wire, and then we'll
Oh,
half crimp it and we twist the rig and it ends up holding that form and you keep the twist in it. If it kind of acts like in a way the idea of a stay stuck hook where the hook will catch and it change your pressure point,
okay.
because once that 400-pound malin bends, it's now putting your pressure point there.
It makes
It
it at
like
the
so if you
bend.
have the hook set in the mouth of the fish, it turns its head and you get a hard kink in your malin wire. It's taking some of the pressure off of the hook and keeping it there in that doubled over wire, which is not going to break. And also, if you ever get toothy critters like wahoos and stuff like that hit your lures, it
It
sucks
gives you
losing
a,
a $300 head.
yeah. No, that gives you a little bit of added protection there. Do you end up taping that over
No,
the twist or you
no.
fish it
Let
just
me
like
see.
that?
I got one here. Just give me a second. I'll pull one out and show
Okay.
you.
Well, while he's looking for it, I have a mental idea, but I know some people would like to see it that are watching this on video. The fact he has one is pretty cool. Here it comes.
Here we go. All right. See if I can get it in front of the camera
Yeah,
here.
I can see it pretty
Yeah.
good. Oh yeah,
I'll
there
try.
it
I
is.
tried to unbend it some, but you can see there's wire in there.
Yeah. Okay, right there through the negative spot in there.
Yeah, so we heat shrink the hook here on the end crimp, and then that gives you a little rigidity to like if your hook's not steering the lure correctly, you can adjust it and the heat shrink keeps the pressure on there.
Okay.
Also keeps it clean. You'll and this is the front crimp that just goes into the bump stop.
Nice. Nice.
And it's a real stiff rig. So like I've had a lot of bites, especially fishing recently on sonar boats where you raise a fish up, it's trailing you, you want to make your second pass and you're in the turn, and the fish comes up on you while you're in the turn. And depending on how you're fishing your clips or tag loops, if someone's pulling in the slack, the inside lures die in the wave. They like lose their action a lot of times. If and especially when you make these like hairpin turns on a fish. And
A
with
crazy
the stiff
Ivan.
rig, it when it's in the water, like I'm holding it by the main line.
Yeah, and it's still pretty stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So if you get the bite in the turn, you still have a good action. Whereas you have these cable rigs and stuff, if they ever go slack, the hook sits like this unless there's waves pushing it back.
Okay.
We fish calm here. This we set our hook down. This is a actually caught probably the most fish on our boat. It's an old pulsator tube.
Check that out. There you go.
Yeah.
Just a regular old tube. Nothing
Yeah.
fancy. But it's
This
beat
thing
up
on our
but it's
left
beat up
short.
pretty good.
Yeah, this thing has done us real well over the years. But that hook rig I actually learned from Frothy and his son Curtis, who works on Luna. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we've seen a few people do that, but we've had real good luck. Our first years here, we I think we're only losing like a fish a year. So,
That's
but
that's not
it
bad at
wasn't
all.
it wasn't a ton of fish. We were seeing 15 fish, 13 fish in a short season, but we got 90% of them to the boat. The bites being crash bites here definitely helped that. Your hookup ratio goes up rather than like the last year we had a lot of fish come up bill whacking. There was smaller bait, less bait, and that's when you're gonna get your bill wrap fish that zip a little line and come off or a bad hook set, you know.
What
So
is Curtis on island with you right now, or is he
yeah.
down? Okay, when you next time you see him,
He
don't
was with
say
me at the boatyard today.
okay, next time you see him, don't say a word, just go up to him and smack the living shit out of him for not returning my damn message.
Oh, okay.
He
He
ma-
just think y'all was smacking him because of something else.
Yeah, no, no, no. Smacking him first and say that's not from me. It's straight from Fly. He uh he said I made something I made a comment about there's some good deckhands out there. You just got to look at them. You got to look for them because listen, I'm preaching to the choir. Everybody's complaining about there's no good deckhands out there. But the problem is there's just so many boats and the good ones have jobs. They're quiet and they go to work. And Curtis said something online. He commented and I sent him a private message. I says, hey man, when, when do you want to join me on the podcast? I don't have his number. I have his dad's number, but I figured a
I'll
nice
send
young,
it to you after.
yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because listen, first of all, I love Frothy to death. He is a great, great guy, and his kids are awesome. And I think it's important.
Adrian's killing it in the Caribbean right now. Just at the broke the Jamaican Blue Marlin record twice.
Exactly, exactly. And
Uh,
I just had. I don't know if you know Newt Cagle.
yeah.
His podcast just dropped this morning, and
Okay. Yeah,
it's
he fished next to us in the Azores last year or the
okay
year before
when he
last.
was on the Big O.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody was asking me. First of all, I've known Newt since he was 14. So I've known him for a super long time and I've watched his career. But at the same time, he's 37 years old, and I really like to show my younger audience uh, how this progression works. It's in today's world of social media where everybody's looking at their phone and you got instant gratification. These younger kids, they have a hard time understanding. You have to put just a little bit of time, a year, 2 years. It's not going to happen overnight. Uh, and I want them to, they look at somebody like me that's 52, you're 40. somebody that's 17 years old has a hard time. Man, you just a bunch of old motherfuckers. We're not. At least I don't feel old. I'm
When
just
I
a,
first started and wanted to kite fish, I was like, all right, I don't have it down good yet. Let me go ride along with one of the key boats. And I didn't get
yeah.
paid for the day. If they broke me off something at the end, great. But I went to go learn until you get good enough. Then how do you expect to, like, oh, I'm going to go on this top tier charter where they're charging tons of money and then lose a fish because of angler failure, your crew failure? Like, that's the most embarrassing thing. Like, failure on our boat is. Like, get
No.
ready to get your ass fucking chewed.
No, no. I mean, people don't realize how, that is something that's completely preventable.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes shit happens. You miss something. Or I had last year, I had my main line explode, and literally it exploded on me. And I turned to my charter. I said, "Man, I am so sorry. That's 100% on me." I had thrown a live bait in the water, and I'm seeing it was dark and cloudy. I could see the green back of my tinker mackerel swimming, and then it just disappeared. And I'm like, oh shit, I got bit. And I got so excited, I just slammed the thing in gear all the way to strike. Once it came tight, there's
Yeah.
my fucking
The,
crimp was out. It just, oh, nobody knew. I knew it was coming. Nobody else knew it was coming. And I'm like, guys, that's all on me. That's all on me. But listen, it happens, but but it's preventable. That's,
Especially like when you have clients and you're taking people out, it's like, and it's, I treat it the same day as a tournament. Like these
yeah,
people are paying for our service and your skill. You got to make sure that you're not just like, oh, it's just another day. Like treat
no.
treat all your gear like you're gonna catch a grander today because you never know, you know.
When you're
Two
gonna
year,
catch a grander.
Curtis caught a 10 weight of 1054 here 2 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the last time Anthony was here, they raised one up right behind me in front of the cement factory here. And when the video, like Steve sent me the video, and the thing's dorsal came out of the water, and it was so big in the video, I thought it was a tail until like you finally see the tail come out in the back, and I was like, that was a beast of a fish. And I don't remember if they got the bite or they pulled it off. They didn't land the fish, but like they raised a giant fish here.
That's awesome.
And the
That's
day
why we
Curtis caught the
do.
grander, there was two. They had two fish and the spread, and they missed one.
Really?
So yeah, and he says the other one was equally as big. So it was right there. But I think it was they had one on you could ask them, I'm sure, but I think they had one on the teaser and another one on the long. And the one that they couldn't get the pitch to switch and caught the J hook. So
What when you say caught the J hook on the pitch, are you using circle hooks on the pitch?
yeah, circle on the pitch and then J hooks on the plugs.
All right. And then there's no wrong answer. Me personally, if I'm pitching a bait,
Hmm.
uh I will circle hook from now for the rest of my life. I love circle hooks.
Unless
Uh,
it's the cup and you're trying to get the gag shot.
even still, even still, and we'll talk about that in a second because I want to cover that because that's usually when I end up talking to you is right around the cup.
Yeah.
Uh, I like the circle hook because I don't worry about where he's hooked and how I can lead him. When
Hmm.
you're dealing with a horse or a bull, any animal, if you can lead him from up here, you can get him to do anything you want. Where you people are thinking, well, I want him to gag, but then at the same time, well, what happens if you get him in his eye or in his, the top of his head? I don't
Or
want
even
him.
if the line gets pinched here because you got him in the throat.
Yeah, listen, I want him right here because I know at that point I can fight him the way I want to fight him. I can wire him the way I want to wire him. And everything is set up. Or if my angler messes it up on the first try, he didn't sting him. chances are he's going to come back. I
Yeah.
prefer a circle hook, but I'm curious your thought process on the circles.
I like circle hook fishing for pitch bait.
Okay.
The on the cup it comes down more to me to the angler.
Okay.
And as we don't always have like as an experienced angler as you'd wish,
Okay.
uh that can, circle hook fishing can be a little more difficult. And the angler we've had for the past few years, which is a great guy, just got into it. Now he's traveled, he just got back from Australia and he's getting the hang of it more now to where I wouldn't mind switching more to like more, put a few more teasers out, pitch the front, and then have a couple J hooks in the back on plugs for the drop back.
Okay.
But for now, it's again that J hook thing it's a quick thing. You have to have a crew that like or you just on that day you don't care about your lines in the water. If the
Yeah.
fish comes up doing that windshield wiper choking thing, gun the boat straight to it and get ready for all hell when you put the sticks in a green fish. Because that thing is gonna go. You could have a half dead fish at the boat, and you put the iron in it, and it's like a cattle prong. That thing goes wild.
They don't like it, man.
No,
The greatest story I heard about something like that is from Charles Perry. They hooked a fish in Australia, and the first thing the fish did, I mean, literally came down tight. Fish comes up and starts gagging and shaking its head back and forth. And Captain literally backed straight down, and they had it on the gaff in seconds. In seconds. And he said that's when the battle really happened.
yeah,
That's when the battle really happened. Now, and it was over the mark. It was well over the mark. And they got the fish. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I'll have to ask Charles when I get him on. But yeah, it's one of those things you have to have it ready.
yeah. I was on fishing on the Badco 57 in Azores a few years back,
Uh-huh.
and we had one fish come up. It was on that year where the bite was fire. We were seeing over 10 fish a day. It was, the bite of the century. And Anthony got in the chair with one that had bit the long, and Vito was on the right side, clearing the right short. And as he went to grab the leader and to pull like hand pull in the leader and the lure, a fish
Uh-huh.
ate it out of his hand. And like right there.
Wow.
And we had already cleared almost everything else, so Steve was on it. And I think David Lasley has it on film. I think it was like 40 seconds to release on that fish that it bit.
Damn.
And it took a little line, came up and started doing that head shake, and he went straight to it. And then we got Anthony's fish right after.
Sometimes they just make that mistake, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's
they
like
make that mistake.
with a client, I don't want that. It's like it's so much to like for all the rush, it's like a freaking KO in the first second, like
Yeah,
you
no,
came in
no.
for this huge match and then like, oh, that was like kind of anticlimactic. We just caught a fish and released it in 30 seconds. Like,
It,
okay.
listen, yeah, no, no, no. You want them to have a good time. It's like, did you see that 1,200 pounder out of Mauritius the other day?
All right, so was it 12-12 or
12,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 12, 12. So, what's his name? Hook texted to me. And so we're joking back and forth. I go, we were talking about it's probably just a 4 hour charter, first time people went fishing. And I'm like, yeah, probably they're mad because they only were able to fight one fish and it took the whole 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, my friends didn't catch, I don't know.
Those are the lucky ones.
Those are the
The
lucky ones.
the people we had for Curtis's grander a couple years back, Taylor,
It was
she
their
was supposed to
honeymoon,
fish.
wasn't it?
Yeah, she was supposed to fish on Luna, and we had to give it to Frothy because we were waiting for paperwork because we had to do a motor swap. And Frothy's captain Carlos and Curtis took them out today. 1 day fishing, honeymoon, catch a grander.
Wow.
Like everyone's dream, like, oh yeah, I want to go do this. I'm like, I've been fishing a long time, and I haven't hung one.
I haven't hung one either. I've been fishing for a living
So
for 34 years. I've been chasing after it. I've
we've
had some
seen
on.
some, hooked some,
Yeah.
had one with Anthony that was at the boat, and we dropped the tape on it. It was close, but they wanted a beast, so they
No,
let it go.
I listen, I get it, but I'm also a firm believer in you can't say it if you don't weigh it.
Yeah, for sure. I've
Yeah,
seen
I'm
plenty of fish. We caught one, was it 2022? My did some maintenance work on the boat, finished it quick. We're like, yeah, let's just go out for a spin. First fish of the season. I see a big blue trying to eat a mahi, and we turn on it, and it switches to the spread and just dumps the right long. Kid that's never caught a fish. My buddy on the boat, never been fishing, never done anything. Put him in the chair and was in there for like an hour and a half, heat stricken. Like fish went on the death dive, tail wrapped, died. Brought it to the boat, and we took it, ended up taking it to the marinos on the Formula 920. We didn't have the scale as out getting certified for the
certified.
cup. And Curtis caught a fish and that fish that we caught was 133 and a half inch short.
Okay.
So it was a nice fish. And then Curtis's grander was also 133 and a half inch short, but had 4 inches more girth on it, or 3 inches more girth on it. I think we were like 69 and he was 73 or 72 or something like
Ooh,
that.
5 inches of girth, man.
Yeah, the girth alone added, that 150 pounds to the exact same size fish.
Yeah, it's always the girth. I remember in back-to-back years, I weighed a fish in Bermuda, 121 inches. First year was 621. The second year was 529. 121
Yeah.
inches, 529. And then Russell Young shows up with a 117-inch fish, so 4 inches less, and it was 757, man.
Yeah. Madeira typically has the fish that'll like tip the scale, like on the formula part. They're
Yeah.
shorter, stockier fish. The fish we caught was like the skinniest fish I seen here. Long, huge head, long, skinny fish. Yeah. And then most of the other ones that get hung, like they'll come on formula. I think we had one uh years back that died. It was on Formula 360 or 350 and scaled it at 463,
Wow.
you know?
Stubby little fucker.
Yeah, so they get some fat fish here.
Built like me. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have you guys got your scales squared away this year?
I think it's always been squared away and just
No.
certain people have issues.
Oh my God.
Small town drama.
I was in the middle of that shit last year. They called me up because they didn't want to let one of the charters weigh the fish, and they called me. I'm like, why are you
I
calling
was
me
on
up?
their side if you wanted to know.
I don't care whose side. So you know what I said was, listen, I have three scales here at my house. I said,
Mhm.
I will donate my scale. I will even donate to get it certified every year. But any time a fish is weighed, you have to hang my sign. That's the only.
Yeah,
I'll give you the scale and I'll pay for certification, but FlyZone fishing has got to be somewhere on there on the fish. I'll
yeah,
pay for it.
the scale here, the issue is it's not owned by the marina. It's another person's scale,
Yeah.
and they can choose to let who they'd like to use it. And normally they want everyone to use it. They don't want any problem. And they just ask every captain, like, oh, hey, the recert was 250 bucks or whatever, like everyone chip in 20 bucks. And then some people don't want to chip in, then they shouldn't use the scale.
Listen, I can't argue with that, but as a
I don't get
tournament,
into it. It's like it's a $20 thing. I pay it every year. We're good for the scale.
as
We're
as a
happy to use
tournament director, I need to make sure everybody has access to a scale. So I get thrown into that. It's
it. Yeah.
easier for me to just say, I'll sponsor the scale. I'll sponsor it. I'll pay for it. Send it out. I'll pay for the recertification every year. I don't mind. The only thing I
Put
ask
a
in,
sign
you got to put a sign. That's
for
it.
sure.
At any time any fish gets weighed, I don't care if it's a 40-pound tuna, weigh it, hold the sign, send me the picture so I can post it up.
Yeah,
I'm happy
that
to
makes
do
sense
it.
for sure.
For me, it'll
It's
do
not
it.
that much. I think like I think a
Certification is like
1,000 pound scale is like 1,200 and the 1,500 pound scale is like 1,600 or something. It's
I
not like a crazy thing
I
for
have
something.
I have three of them. I
Well,
have
the
three.
scale in Madeira is like pretty important, you know. It's one,
Yeah.
it wins the World Cup more than, more places, more than most places. And now we actually have more boats fishing when in the past when it was winning, there was only, 4 or 5 boats fishing the cup versus Kona and Bermuda that put up 40 piece each.
I am so glad you brought that up because when I first took over running the cup, um, I had already started my golf tournament because I also own and run the golf cup.
Okay.
I put on a Fourth of July tournament. That's how I got into the tournament scene because I knew there were big fish in the Gulf of Mexico, but people felt that they couldn't compete against Hawaii and Bermuda. And Mike Leach told me, he goes, it's not that there's bigger fish in Bermuda, there's more boats, there's more hooks. There's 50 boats in Hawaii and 50 boats in Bermuda, and there's one in the Gulf of Mexico, maybe. There's four in
Yeah.
Madeira. Well, that's changed over the last few years. The best year I've had in the Gulf was 36 boats. Shit, Cape Verde, either 2 or 3 years ago, had 29 boats fishing in the
They've
World
done
Cup.
well the past few years, though. They had
Yeah.
3 out of 6, you know?
Yeah, no, they listen,
So,
they've had some great years, but again, when I first took it over, it was four boats. They went from four boats to 29 boats. There's a
yeah.
lot of fucking hooks in the water. So that makes a huge difference in the overall grand scheme of things. Any place that has a lot of hooks in the water gets more of a chance. Where I'm really pushing a lot is Japan. I've
Okay.
been pushing and pushing and pushing. They just have a really weird thing with, not that they don't like to gamble, it's just none of their tournaments over there have any gambling involved because
Yeah, because they
it's
eat all
against.
the fish.
Listen, Okinawa is the only place I know that has not one but two 2,000-pound blue marlin caught on
There's
commercial
there's
boats.
there's giant fish swimming out there. It's the same like look at
Giant.
what happens now. There may be a giant sport fishing community opening up in Venezuela that could be like top tier marlin fishing.
Exactly. Listen, I've been called up by everybody since January 3rd to me will sit in infamy because the moment that happened, I mean, I was very, very fortunate. I got to fish there from 97 through 2000. I lived there for 4 years. So,
Mhm.
and being of Cuban descent and I speak Spanish, I got to know a lot of people down there. So I went from whatever I was, 22 years old, to now I'm 50. And all those people that live down there, they're now business owners. And or they've left and they want to go back. So they're like, Fly, can you help us market it when we start? I'm like, man, whatever you need. I would love to see it open up again because uh, I love the fishing down there. That place was fucking phenomenal. I have never in my life, of all the places I've fished, and I've fished a bunch of fucking places, I have never seen National Geographic like National Geographic Venezuela. That place was hands down. Some of the fishing was great. That's not what I'm talking about. It's all the other shit you see. Whale sharks with white
Just
marlin under
all life.
all of them, leatherback turtles, orca whales, you name it, we saw it, you know?
Well, look at you got Trinidad and Tobago right there. Trinidad's 5 miles. You actually pass through the Boca. It's 2.5 miles either side is
Yeah.
Venezuela and Trinidad.
Yeah.
And then Tobago's not, I think, what, 60 or 80 miles from there, the same just northways as Grenada. And all those places put up big, big fish. You know,
Exactly.
Brothy's caught some giants off the Sisters in Tobago. They've caught plenty big fish in Grenada. You have Trinidad that's part of Brazil, not Trinidad and Tobago, and
Yeah.
the northern Brazil area where the Royal Charlotte Bank is and stuff. All that area produces giant fish. So that whole coastline, they're hugging there. You can watch some of the marlin tracks that have been released from the tags that come over to the east side of South America there as well.
There was
So
early on, I say early on. So back in the day, the bite that everybody was trying to get was September, October, November. But if you were there early enough, which some people were, people like Cal Patty Dave would just he wouldn't leave. And the story that I'm thinking about was Ronnie Hamlin. It was like last week of August, and whatever boat he was on did like 13 or 14 knots. So he'd put a black wide range on and run out
just
to the
go.
bank, and fish comes up and eats it. So he's like, "Damn, that's a nice one. Let's smoke it." So they greased it. It was like 978. They ran back in, weighed it, ran back
And
out.
what
Next day they did it and they caught one. It was like 987. Back to
I saw
back days.
they have those commercial boats. I seen some videos like that one viral stuff. They have a giant marlin and they cut out like a 200-pound big eye out of the gut, like on commercial, like net boats,
Yeah,
long lines. And so there's some real, real big fish swimming down there.
there's
And
some
once the opportunity
monsters.
is available for a marina, if that ever happened there, it's gonna be like the new Cap Can of Venezuela. It's
One,
gonna be fire.
100%. Listen, I think if you would have asked me 3 months ago, I would say, man, I hope I get a chance to see it again one day. Now, listen, tomorrow's not guaranteed, but
Yeah.
at least I feel that there's hope. It's not going to be anytime soon. I've been talking with a lot of people. I get a lot of phone calls. Our biggest hurdle, which is again, it for the recreational guys, they haven't even gotten it for the oil guys. They cannot get insurance yet for the oil rigs down there. So nobody is
They
gonna,
have so much money down there, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Trinidad, for being a third world country, should be a first world because it's
yeah.
actually like a very large control spot. And go, if you haven't been there, go look. It's broke down, but it's all money. It's all giant, giant, giant companies and everything working down there.
No, I listen, I believe it. And the thing is, you're not going to get American boats down there or American people until you can insure the fishing boats to
Yeah,
go down there and go
for
fishing.
sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to take my $15 million fill in the blank,
Whatever.
whatever, to Venezuela if my insurance company is not going to, it's not going to
No,
insure
but
me.
you'll have a huge like lower end charter community that'll open up like it's all over the,
Oh,
Central America and
oh,
everything. And
100%.
people will just pay to, travel the weekend there. It
Yeah,
could be like
no.
a Tropic Star type deal.
I think that you'll see that much earlier than the American ghost boats going back down. But again,
Mhm.
uh, everything that I've read, I'm not going about what I've heard because a lot of the people that I'm talking to are expats that have moved somewhere else. Uh, but it seems like the atmosphere is way more relaxed. People don't feel so oppressed down
Mhm.
there right now like they did a few months ago, you know? So
I
people,
thought,
I think people are going to start going down there. Actually, I knew somebody that's going down March 20th. So whenever that is, they're flying down there on March 20th.
I had a conversation also with someone recently similar about them doing the same thing in Cuba.
Ooh,
The
man,
infrastructure required would be way higher, but they could start like a little town, like on the north side real quick. And that would become also just like for them to be a fuel hub or to stop for a few days and do anything before you keep going, it would be huge.
Listen, Cancun, anything in the Yucatan is done. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic is done when Cuba opens up.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't want to say I don't want to say nobody has knocked on my door, but my door feels warm, like somebody's getting ready to knock.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that's actually probably the most realistic place for there something to happen soon.
I think it's going to be safer soon. Um, yeah, listen, I wouldn't be surprised at anything right now. I heard something that Rubio was going down there this week to have talks. So I don't know. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. I'm not worried about it. But it would be cool to go back and see the motherland.
Yeah, I've never been.
Neither have I. I've had a couple of opportunities, but I sit on so many fishery boards, and it's not necessarily that I'm on the boards. It's just the fact that I deal with the U.S. government. I do everything above board.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go down there, I want to make sure I have the proper paperwork from our government. I've heard too many oh yeah, you can go down there and just have them stamp another piece of paper. No, 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 no. I'm above board, man. There's too much shit I do, and I have the luxury of traveling the way I like to travel. Hey, Fly, want to come fishing? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it properly.
Yeah, you're not I did, always our island hops to Bimini and stuff like that back in the day. Then they had the sport fish permit that gave you two trips on one pay or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Did you remember that? You'd have
No.
like you used to have to check in and they'd give you like a fishing license, but you're allowed two trips on that one like $300 license or whatever,
Uh,
150 bucks, whatever it was.
okay.
So we always use the like check in the first time and then we just go fish a bunch and shoot, go there for the day or two. And if we got stopped, we're like, oh yeah, we're fishing on the way in and we're gonna check in when we get there.
Yeah.
And then that time we'd have to use the second trip.
Yeah. No.
No more.
It's. Listen. I have a It's been a while. I have a friend that he was fishing in Big Cypress and he had seen a deer like 100 yards on the other side of something and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna post up." And next thing you know, something happened and he had to run and hide or something to the nature and I'm like, "Bro, we're too old for this shit, man. It's not that important. It's different, when you're
Hiding your
50.
shotgun in the swamp. So like, oh yeah, we're just out here looking. We're not doing nothing.
I'm in camo, my face is painted in camo just because I want to take photographs. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Come on.
I'm on a nature walk. I'm just checking it out.
I'm on a nature in the middle of hunting season wearing blaze orange. Wearing blaze
Yeah.
orange. No, man, I'm too old for that shit. I want to do it right. And when we travel as much as we do, I don't want any shit.
Mm.
I really don't. I want to be able to fly into a country, do everything properly. It's bad enough when I go up and, oh, what are all these batteries for? I'm like, I have 6 cameras. What do you mean, what are all
Yeah.
these batteries for? Look, they fit in the camera. We're not talking about double A's. We're talking about Nikon batteries. See, they fit
Yeah.
in.
I have a whole camera case. It's like freaking 25 pounds or 30 pounds when we travel with that. We always allot extra time because they're going to want to check all these lenses. They go through everything.
Everything.
Actually the one I get stopped with the most is when I travel with lures because of the lead inside the head.
Oh my gosh, I was just talking with somebody about that the other day. It's the lead in the head gets me
Yeah.
every time.
I've learned now, like I'll put them if I have space to put them in a roll up, depending on the bag, that I'm traveling with.
Uh-huh.
If not, when I get to the safety bins, I just take them out now. I just put them right loose in there, and they'll pick it. They're like, "What the hell is this thing?" I'm like, "It's a fishing lure." They're like, "There's no hooks." I'm like, "I know, because you can't bring a hook on the plane. I cut them all off, you know." And I've had to show pictures a couple times or whatever, but they've always let them through. But it'll bring your bag to the extra
Every
search every
time.
time. Yeah.
Every time. It's funny because most of the time I travel, I'm just invited to go to people's boats and go fishing with them. So unless somebody asks me, I'm not traveling with tackle, I'm not traveling with lures, and especially like after the World Cup, once everything settles down from July 4th until I start tuna fishing, it's kind of like my vacation. That's when
Yeah.
I bounce around and I fish a bunch of tournaments as a guest, usually as a guest of the tournament directors, but sometimes I'm just like the last 6 years I've fished the JIBT in Japan. Then I host a tournament in Washington State. Last year I fished a tournament in um, Croatia. So I just bounce around and I don't bring luggage. I bring a fucking carry-on. I need three fishing shorts, a
Yeah.
couple of pair of dress ups, a collared shirt, and I don't even bring long pants anymore because it's August, July and August. And if I have to wear pants to go into that restaurant, I'm just not going. And I, and bless his soul, I stopped to fish a tournament in Hawaii, and the guys that won the World Cup, they wanted to give me a lure, a replica of the lure that they caught the World Cup with. So I literally went flying around with this lure on my carry-on, and every country I was in stopped me with the lure.
Yeah. It's a
I'm okay
guaranteed
with it.
stop now.
It's
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. But you know what? That's just the world we live in. I'm whatever. I can deal with it. I can
Yeah.
deal with it.
To touch on like the doing everything legitimately, going from the way you operate a business in the States to Portuguese law is completely different. It's a big learning curve, making sure that we're following all the regulations when we have the charter boats, because you have a separate permit for that here. But there's like eight different places or nine different places you need paperwork from, and you need this one before this one before this one. And not one of the places will give you a list of everything you need. So you go here and then you're like, okay, I need this. They're like, oh, before that, you need this. So you waited 3 hours for them to send you somewhere else. Then you go there, they're on lunch. You wait, you come back. All right, let me get this paper. They're like, all right, here you go. You go back, they're like, now you need this one. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that when I was here the first time? Like, how many more papers do I need? Please tell me, because I'll just go get everything. And they are strict. A lot of it's not computerized. We travel around with a folder this thick with like 90 papers in it every day. And if we get
Uh,
stopped, they have to sit there and go like everyone's in a plastic sheath or whatever and check through everything, your lighthouse tax, your engine tax, this thing. And it's cheap. It's like I want to say it's maybe $500 a year, to get all the fees and everything pays. It's minimal. It's just a huge hassle to get it all.
Overregulation.
It comes to why we speak so much because there is not in the cup, but in a world record um, fish that they weighed here a long time ago. It was contested for two reasons. One was breaking strength of the line, and then the other was the angler was not wearing a life jacket. And here in Portugal, there's an old law that states anyone that's involved in the harvesting of the fish has to wear a life jacket, which means the angler, the wireman, the gaff man. And at the time they writ that rule, it was like the freaking orange Cuban jacket life jackets, like not the freaking slim, you know, air up things. And you're leadering a fish and you got line going all over you. That's like a safety hazard, for it to get caught on
Yeah.
anything. You can't move around, especially if it's tight between the chair and your back freeboard. And yeah, so for the cup, because you're supposed to follow
I,
uh,
IGFA rules and IGFA.
IGFA rules and then it states as well as your local laws.
Well,
And we always,
that's what part of the IGFA rule that you got to follow all safety, all federal and state laws.
yeah.
But
So I was always like, everyone's here wearing life jackets all day long because like if you get the bite, you're not gonna like miss, setting your drag or anything because you got to throw a vest on. So you got everyone wearing life jackets all day, and I was like, please write me something that this
that's
will not,
we
affect
went
us
through
if we weigh a
to
fish.
figure out how to make it where that's not a fishing regulation, that's a marine regulation.
I remember it took like a month or two to get it all sorted last
Oh my
year.
God, it was
It was a headache.
it's funny because I on my list of people to invite to the podcast is Jason from IGFA. And one of the great things with having Mike Leach, who was the president of the IGFA for ever and a day, is I can always double check with him, but now it's been long enough that I have to double check with some of the laws and regulations. So every year somebody throws a question. I don't even want to say it's a wrench.
Curveball. Yeah.
And it's like hey, let's like um that deal that happened in Big Rock where somebody didn't have a fishing license.
Mhm. Yeah, and
And
they lost the fish because the guy went like they came in and he ran and got it like
s-
right after.
yeah, so we ended
And I
up
was too late.
what we were concerned with all the boats in the Gulf of Mexico, you might leave out of Florida or Alabama and then run to Green Canyon in Louisiana. And what happens
Yeah.
if you come in and you don't have a license? So we had to write that in our rules to protect it from litigation.
Mhm.
It's listen, I understand rules are rules and you have to have a black and white line, but there's certain things. Um, First of all, you can IGFA rules, people call them rules. They're not rules, they're guidelines. These are the guidelines you have to
Yeah.
follow. And my tournament next week in the Bahamas, I said IGFA rules except for, and you could put whatever exception you want in there.
Mhm.
And for mine in the Bahamas, for anybody that's spent any time in the Bahamas fishing, sometimes the bites are far and few in between. Sometimes it's red hot. But the one thing I don't want is people who own their boats that come down and may only get one bite and or want to bring their wives on the boat or their kids or their business partners and there's only one bite and somebody messes it up and now you're not having a good time. I'm like, no, let the mate hook the fish and you can hook in hand as soon as possible because people are like, why isn't it 1 minute? I'm like, well, what happens if your boss is downstairs in the head? And
Yeah.
it takes him 90 seconds to get up there. Soon as
Mhm.
possible, you know,
Mhm.
as soon as he can possibly get out there, I don't want you fighting the fish for 20 minutes and then passing the rod off.
Yeah,
This
but a
is,
quick little thing.
yeah, my boss is taking a nap and he has to get his fighting belt on or whatever. Or the boss's daughter or son who's 12 years old wants to fight it in the chair. Well, let him get in the chair and hook him up and then
Well,
you're
that
cool.
IGFA, you could, if they're underage, you're allowed to help them to the chair. There's some extra guidelines for that, for peewee anglers. I know we try to practice, just letting the angler do everything. It
Yeah,
keeps the mates in check, keeps all the crews in check. Like I seen a few videos go around. If you touch the rod on while I'm on the boat and you're not and you're not the angler, get ready. You
oh,
know, get ready. I've seen people where they reach up and they grab the rod like this and pull it down so they could reach forward and grab the leader. And I'm like, once
there,
you get in the habit of doing that, you're
yeah,
gonna do it unconsciously, and then on the cup, that's considered just a DQ, you
a
know?
DQ.
So we try to practice everyone we show them how to set the drag, how to move it over, try to move the rod to the chair also at light drag is help. You have all this pressure and that's our biggest things. When we do hook in hand, it's because we have either someone that's older and just wants to sit in the chair, or they physically are going to struggle carrying a 130 with the fish pull, all the pressure of the fish pulling the drag and getting into the chair.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If you practice it every day, uh, it should be a habit. And just the
Hmm.
same way you can create a good habit, you can create a bad habit. And you said
Exactly.
something earlier today, or earlier on the podcast, where to you, every day is a tournament. Every day should be a fucking tournament.
Yeah.
To
I'm not
me,
going out here to waste my time, like,
no. It just came out this morning, or one of the clips just came out this morning, and it's going through my social media where I was going off on the podcast. I'm a fucking fisherman, and my job is to catch every fucking fish possible. Because I see people online all the time. Oh, he caught it on live bait. That doesn't count. Oh, we caught it the real way, trolling. I'm like, listen, man. Nowhere on my title does it say trolling fisherman or live bait
yeah,
fisherman. No, I'm a
to
fucking
each their own.
fisherman.
If you can get it done and that's your way,
Get
more
it
to
done.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I applaud anybody that can do it. Again, I'm at 52 years of age. I am watching these guys catch 100 blue marlin in a month. I used to shoot for 100 blue marlin in a season, and these guys are catching 100 blue marlins in a month. And then I see people complain, which is you're right. I have no issues with you complain. Oh, well, it's fad fishing. It's different. Oh, we used to fish on strip. I don't give a fuck.
Who
You're catching
cares?
fish.
Yeah.
My job is to catch fish. If I was on that fucking boat, I'm not gonna. That fat has fish on. Every time I go by on the north side of that fat, I get a bite. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna troll as much as I can on the north side of that fucking fat.
Yeah, ask all those guys that say a comment, oh, it's this and this. Be like, cool, when you're on the boat not catching fish over there and you know everyone's on the fad getting them, tell me that you're not going to say, hey, let's go over there to the
Yeah,
fad.
go
You're going
over
to go
there.
straight there, of course.
I
You know,
know.
it's part of everyone's like, oh, have you talked to anyone today? Is anyone catching? Is there something going on over here?
Oh,
I'm not one to speak much on the VHF radio, but if you call my cell phone, you may get some information, you know. And depending on where you go, like in Madeira, you can pretty much see all the boats.
yeah,
We're
you know what's
fishing,
going
a
on.
20-mile strip, and it's
And it's
flat,
flat
calm.
calm.
Yeah, you could see for days, unless like you're on the extreme ends and you get a bite, would wait a little while to post it so the boats don't all shotgun right to you. But you go to Azores in my first year there, and you don't call in a hookup. The boats are like, I had Zach screaming at me in 2 minutes, like on the radio, what the fuck you doing? Get over here, and you Madeira quiet people, you don't come here and share your information, fish as a team.
Listen, he's
I
gonna
was like, all
yell
right,
at you.
no problem.
He's gonna
I was
yell
like,
at you no matter what. That's just
yeah, I was like, we're
Zach.
fishing a sonar. I didn't want to piss you off. I was like, yeah, we let that one go. We're on another one. What do you want? And
That's
then
that's
we'll
so
talk back and
funny.
forth. I remember
That
one time we went to the Azores Bank, and a few boats pushed it further that morning to Princess Alice, and Time Zero said it was better over south. So I was like, oh, we'll stay here. And there was a huge rainstorm there, and I think it was like Newt, Zach, and either the guys on Wave Paver or some other, one of the other big boats out here. They're all on Princess Allison caught nothing, and there's a giant rainstorm between us. And I was fishing with Zach, and we let go, I think, two 650 size fish and missed another one by 11 a.m. And the other boats called me and they're like, "Oh, we heard you let some go. We're all coming back." I was like, "Great." You know, like here we go. You guys are all gonna come on my spot. So we cherried off the spot like 7 miles because there's a rainstorm between us. And I knew as soon as they punched through that rain, they were all going to drop in, and they all did. And as soon as they got there and started fishing, we're like, oh, we'll veer back over here and go back where we were.
oh my gosh.
So, like, we'll be salty about it. You know, I've done the start doing donuts sometimes, so they think you're on a fish and you didn't hook up and pass off, and they'll all go work that spot. And I was never, there's nothing there, you know, just to get the put a little space between us and other boats.
Listen, man, if you really want to know, here's my thing. And if he's listening, he understands that I'm talking about him. I don't care if you don't tell me the information. What I care about is if you lie to me.
Yeah,
Not giving me information doesn't bother me. But don't send me on a wild goose chase. That
yeah.
part, no. Listen, this information channel, and I love passing information. I'm one of those. I've even had crew members to me, you don't have to answer the phone. I go, no, I do, because when I wasn't catching them, those were the people I was calling.
Yeah.
Those are the people I was calling. So now that I'm catching them, I got to give them the information. But don't lie to me. That's the only thing I ask. Don't lie to me.
Like Newt when he first showed up to Azores, he asked like, "What's the standard here? You talk, you not talk?" It's always, everywhere you go has like a different like common ground.
Rules. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, you talk here, like you better talk, even if you're on a private boat, or you'll hear it." He's like, "I don't care, it's good. I'd rather share information. We all catch fish." I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." And we're going back and forth, and he had been putting up some numbers for days, was doing really, really, really well. And then went on a little cold streak. We're fishing different areas, and then we were slowly picking them every single day. And he's like, "Oh, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh, good. I'm marking 10 or 12 a day. I just can't on the sonar. I just can't pull them up out of the bait. There's so much bait. They're there at frickin' 75 feet and won't come up." And he's like, "What are your sonar settings that you're marking all these fish?" Because I sent him just a couple videos while I was driving, and then he's known to call people a clam sometimes. So I just sent him if you say you're gonna share and you don't. So I just sent him like the winking clam gift thing. I was like, yeah. You have your things you don't share, so we'll keep it going. But I was like, he was a few fish ahead of me too. So I was like, I gotta keep anything I got on my side.
That is so funny. The old fucking
Yeah. And he
clam.
went there first time and killed it, did really, really well.
Listen, man, that is a fishy motherfucker. He has always been a fishy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I
He's
said, I
a
met
real
him
good.
at 14 years old, and I always call him Little Worm because when I met him, he had this big blonde fro and these ugly ass white Costa Del Mar glasses. But that big fro, because he looked like Big Worm on Friday.
Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah,
the drug dealer?
yeah, yeah.
What's up, Big Worm? So I called him Little Worm.
Oh my gosh.
So since then, he's in my phone as Little Worm, man. He's
Oh,
14 years old, running all over the docks, big old fucking bushy fro, ugly ass glasses. Just loved to fish. Absolutely was eaten up with it. And at the time, I was on the reel tight, and I was that young age that I was eaten up with it so much that when I'd come home, what would I do is I'd drive my car up to like North or South Carolina and fish tournaments for fun,
mm,
just to hang out, never charge anybody any money. I just want to go fishing. And I was fishing the mega dock, and that's when I met him. He was a little snotty nosed little kid, and but he's been fishing ever since, and I've always known him, and I give him a hard time, but he's a good kid, man. He's a hard worker. He's a great fisherman. Even Captain Eddie that I worked with on the Reel Tight, they were all fishing in Mag Bay for like 3 years together.
yeah.
And Eddie would tell him, "Hey, the gray hairs you have is from those years next to Fly." I'd beat the shit out of him, you
Yeah,
know?
he put up the billfish record over there for the year. Not in that and
Yeah,
for billfish in a season, like I think it's like 4,200 or something like
it's
that.
fucking
He's got a big
ridiculous.
number up there for
It's
sure.
it's one of those. It's like Lou Gehrig's record of consistent batting titles, or Cal Ripken Jr. 2,600 games never missed.
Yeah.
You know.
that's it's still a statement, you know.
It
It's a cool thing to
is.
say.
And listen, he loves it. He loves it, and
Mm.
I'm all for it, you know. He texted me this morning because his podcast dropped last night at midnight. And he texted
Mm.
me this morning, and I'm not going to tell you what he said, but I'm like, listen, anytime you want to come back on, you got an open invite, buddy. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we had a great time. We were catching up, and again, like I said, I've known him since he was 14. I haven't had a chance to chat with him in a while, and uh, really, first and foremost, that's what this podcast is about: is me catching up with my friends. But at the same time, I want everybody else to know because I travel so much and people they ask me, "Oh, I've had this opportunity to go fish with this guy. What's he like? I have an opportunity to go fish with this guy. What's he like?" I'm like, "Well, fuck it. What better way to do it than jump on a podcast and
Share a little bit of everything.
yeah, I mean, I've created not only in the community, I've created a great network of friends that do this for a living, but outside the community, the people that enjoy what we do, I've created a great network of people around the globe that I get to go fishing with in Saudi Arabia. I get to go fishing with in Fujairah, in Japan, all these locations that are always asking, "Hey, I saw you in a picture with so and so. What's he like? I want to charter him." Well, fuck it. Let's just jump on a call and uh it, at least to me, that's what these podcasts are about is uh a nice 2 hour conversation you have with somebody. They get an idea. Oh, that seems like somebody I'd like to fish with, or no, he might be a little bit too serious to bring my kids on the trip.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Listen, whatever it is, I don't get along with everybody. There's people I don't like, and then there's people that I just tolerate.
I
And then
think that goes for everyone pretty
that's
much.
that no, no, that's
You know,
100%
everyone
for
has
everybody.
their own circles and stuff and what they do and don't like. And I
Yeah.
may be one of the people that's more on this extreme end of that. Like either we're good or we're not. And that's
Yeah,
it,
listen,
you
I got
know.
offered a
But I don't have time to waste for anything in between.
no, no. Listen, I have, and
Yeah.
it's also as you get older, you realize we don't have a lot of time. So fucking
Yeah.
enjoy it while you can. But I got offered a job on a boat, a really good boat. When I came back from Hawaii, it's a really good operation, really good boat, really good money. The captain offered me a job, offered me everything that I could ever want for a job opportunity. And I said no. And I'm like, listen, I know your boss. I know your owner. He's not going to put up with my personality. Not that we wouldn't get along, but
Hmm.
I'm loud. I'm a loud fucking Cuban guy, man. I'm
Yeah.
loud. I'm happy. I bounce around. I sing. I scream. I yell. I don't scream during the fishing side of it, but bro, I'm always happy. And some people go on their boats because they like it to be quiet and relax and chill. I want to respect that. Everybody has their own thing. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming out with my little tacita de Cuban coffee, and we're all going to do a shot of espresso. We're going to get jacked up for about 4 hours. We're going to have fun. And some people, fun is quiet, relaxing, waiting for a bite.
Yeah. For
That's
me,
not
it's, you know,
that's not
I've been
me.
on both extremes. I've been on the yelling end and the calm end and you can't yell end uh, or anything. Sometimes you're on a boat and people aren't wearing mics or your headsets, and it's like, you're screaming or
You,
the distance is too much, you know, you're at the
yeah.
top of your lungs. I've lost my voice over days like that. And then I've worked with other people that some of the crew members, if you screamed at, they, as like a human, they just don't respond well to that. They don't, that's not
Correct.
how you deal with that person. So I'm like, this person would shut down, you know, if you got real tense. And I'm like, I'm not even angry. I'm not
I'm
pissed.
just
I'm
being
screaming
loud.
because yeah, I'm being loud because it's important and I want it done now.
Yeah.
And there's other people that I could do that to, And if I do it once, he's like, "Oh shit, I got screamed at. I'll never mess this up again, so I don't get screamed at." And that's how he understands, you know.
Yeah.
So not everyone, like we go, like not everyone gets. I don't want to say trained, but like we become a team in different ways, you know.
Yeah,
And we
100%.
learn how everyone's strong points and weak points and try to, cater to it a little bit. But you can't teach everyone the same, and not anyone's going to learn the same.
I I was fishing with my buddy Mike Samuels, and I've probably told this story on the podcast before, but him and I, we laugh about it all the time. On his boat, I'm singing, I'm dancing. There's videos of me getting sugar poured on my head because I was singing to pour some sugar on me, and somebody did. And we were just having a great time, and we were down in the Dominican Republic, and they have those little headsets. And we just caught a blue marlin. I'm sitting up on the mezzanine, but standing up by the door, and he's there talking to me. And I look and I grab the mic and I go, Blue Marlin, left bridge. And I'm waiting. And he's saying something to me and nobody moves. I go, uh, Blue Marlin, left bridge. Again, nobody's moving. So I said, fuck it, Blue Marlin, left bridge. And I ran, grabbed the pitch bait, and I threw it out. And everybody's like, we thought you were joking. I go, I don't joke about blue marlins, man. There's
Yeah.
a blue marlin on the left bridge, but uh, I'm of the nature of I have to be as calm as possible so my people stay as calm as possible so that they get the best job done. That's
Yeah, they're
just
not like moving sporadically. Like,
exactly. I'm but I'm also very fortunate that when I run a boat without the microphones, I have a loud voice to begin with. So I don't have to yell to get my voice out there. Some people are just very,
yeah,
very quiet. No, like my girlfriend, she's a quiet talker. And when I'm deaf as a fucking post. Too many years at the back of the transom and hereditary. My grandfather couldn't hear shit. And so sometimes I can't hear her and she starts yelling at me. I'm like, I don't have to yell. She goes, yeah, I have quiet or I have yelling. I don't
yeah.
have a loud voice. And that's just some people. So I'm very
And sometimes
fortunate.
it's just excitement. It's not even like you're not yelling because of like any
Yeah,
like
you're not
bad thing. You're
angry.
just
Yeah.
excited into it, talking in the conversation, and that's becomes more a Cuban culture thing as well. You
Listen,
know, I
I'm
raise
not
my voice when I
I'm not
speak
loud.
sometimes, and people are like, "You're screaming." I'm like, "I'm just talking to you. Relax."
I'm not yelling, I'm Cuban.
Yeah. So
That's our
that it's
na
the truth.
that is our nature, man. We are just loud. My friends growing up, luckily where I grew up, there's a lot of Cubans in the neighborhoods, a lot of Spanish people in the neighborhood. But I had a couple of white boys that hung out with us, and they're like, "Man, your grandfather's always yelling." I'm like, "Dude, that's not yelling. He's just talking to us, man." There's talk.
That's just how it is.
One of my favorite memories of my grandfather. Rest his soul. I think we were 16 and we all chipped in, whatever it was, $15 to get pay-per-view to watch Mike Tyson. You know, because I'm of that age that we wanted to watch Mike Tyson
Yeah, for sure.
1989. And we were all at my house, so we all chipped in to get the pay-per-view. And Grandpa in his fucking pajama pants and his white wife beater shirt hanging out with us and he has his fucking chair and all us kids. I mean, if you really think of however old he was at the time, he was probably my age. He's probably like 55 or 60. And he's got a bunch of 15 and 16-year-old boys hanging around watching a fight with him, happier than a pig in shit. Because, 15 or 16 years old, number one, we paid for the fight. Number two, we brought all the food, we bought all the food and shit we wanted to eat.
Yeah, it was a
No,
free party for him. He
yeah,
was up for it.
and knowing my friends, we probably paid for all the fucking beer too. So he's hanging out with all the, and I went inside the house to grab something, going back to my room because I had this like outside area that I lived at, separate from because I was the oldest, and I can hear him from inside the house. We're watching all the lead up fights, yelling in Spanish, fucking knock his ass out, kick the shit out of him. And I'm like, yeah, I guess he is fucking loud, man.
Yeah.
But listen, that was just the way we were brought up. He wasn't mad at us. I know
My
he
family
wasn't
was
mad.
like that the same. And other people, like an outside eye, would think something is crazy going on. And you're like, oh, that's just normal.
Yeah, listen, that's just the way we grew up.
Yeah.
Really, I'm not worried. I never worried about it. I didn't think about it. I don't like the tone, meaning uh if you're like Eddie, and to this day, Eddie Herbert's still my longest relationship I ever had. That was 14 years. When a fish is on a teaser, he yells, but he yells, I know it's out of excitement. I never hear like, get it out of his fucking mouth, you stupid idiot. Once you start adding the
Yeah, he's
adjective,
not marked the sharking it, you know.
yeah, you fucking Guggen.
Oh, I love it. I get a
I,
kick out of it.
I love Mark the
Yeah.
Shark. I listen. I
Yeah.
share his pictures online all the time. I absolutely love. I dig it.
On
There's
on a fun day, we say that like, especially when it's like a boys' day and it's like Curtis, Gonzalo, like a few of the local guys and myself, and we go out, like we hook a fish. Those days we're like, oh, no one says anything just because we're like, this is the A team. Everyone knows what to do. You don't need to say, oh, if I'm getting this rod, you get that. Like it just
everybody
happens,
knows. Yeah.
It's everyone will cheer for a second, like, yeah, 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 we got the bite, and then goes to work. Like Curtis has actually been running Luna the past couple of years, and he whenever he gets a bite, I always joke it's the four yeahs. You'll hear him and be like, yeah, 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 yeah. It's always every time that whenever he gets the bite, if you hear that, run to the rod. Like that, I was like, if we renamed a boat, I would call it four yeahs. Like,
4 yeahs. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all have our
yeah,
little.
every time.
When
It's funny.
when I was younger, like teenage young or 21, 22, I was notorious for there he is, and I had a captain go, "Hey, come over here. When you yell that." Where is there and who is he or who is they? There he is. Who's they? And where's here? You have to say where that is
Yeah.
and what it is. So that's when I learned Blue Marlin left short or just left short or left cockpit or whatever
Yeah.
it is. You
You
know,
fish bigger, corners, short, long,
yeah,
whatever.
whatever,
Go fish with Zach Condi for the day on a big fish or when there's a lot of action and watch him scream in three different language trying to say left, short, or right. He's like the left, right, the long, right, short, left, right, and then I'll switch to Portuguese and you're just like you're down there like I don't know what the hell this guy's saying and I don't see anything, you know. But
yeah, we
he's
get,
still one of
listen,
the badasses. The mates will say like, "Oh, working for Zach is a thing," and I'll warn anyone that goes. And he's my buddy, and I love it. We have a great time fishing together. I've done plenty crossings with him, and uh,
I have the
and we
utmost
laugh. Like
respect for him.
if you go with Zach, you're gonna learn today. Like
Yeah.
he had a
No.
real one with Curtis. Curtis came to work with me out there for a season in Azores, and he jumped on with Zach to cover. His mate was gone for a couple days, and they had one near the mark, and Curtis was double wrapped up. And I don't know what actually happened. Zach says he leaned into the throttle, like bumped it on the wave or something, but like put the boat into the turbos were spooling up with Curtis double wrapped and it crushed
Oh,
his hand. His hand looked like a baseball mitt for a year.
oh.
Yeah. Like, and we
Listen,
joke about it, like, because we're all buddies and stuff, but like, he'll test you.
yeah, listen,
Zach will test you to
shit
see. He just
happens.
wants to see if you'll hold on. He's just going to see, like, I want to see if you're a bitch or not. Let's see if he'll hold or if he's going to let go or if he's going to join the UWC,
No, no, no. Listen, I don't know. I've been fortunate that I've never had a captain that wanted me to hold on, but they all wanted to see the fish. And
Yeah.
I've just always learned how to dump it. I've never taken that as something wrong to do. you
No,
know?
it comes. That's more like I did a year of world record fishing for the men's 30, which you need pretty much a 900 for, and we're fishing 30 out of the clips and 30
Uh,
on the pitch.
okay.
And it's a fight. And going kind of back to what you were saying earlier about sticking a green fish, or when you even a semi-dead fish. Yoan on the Silverado with Gary and Cheryl Carter a
Yeah.
few years ago. She went 7.5 hours on women's 20 into the night on a blue that took them like 40 miles offshore. After 7.5 hours, and she was at this time 70 or 71 years old. So she did 7.5 hours stand up. All right. Got this fish to the boat with Javier, Jeffrey Garcia. Um, I think Scuba Steve was there that year, maybe not. And one other guy. They had four gaffs, four flyers in this fish, and it took them 30 minutes to subdue the fish with four flyers in it.
Oh
Like
my
they got
God.
fish after 7.5 hours went buck wild. That Johan was like smashing the boat, went crazy. They brought it across the transom and just four at once. Whack. Uh, they brought the fish to the marina. From the picture one side, it would have been questionable mutilation.
That
You know,
that many
like
gaff
what
shots in it.
one gaff tore out like a 25-pound chunk that was hanging off. The other gaff just like ripped through the fish. And like the that top shoulder, which everyone nailed the target on point, they took out that corner of the fish. You
Ugh.
know, like it was a lot of work to get that in, and then hauled it 40 miles back.
What did it break
I
the
think it
record?
was. No, ended up falling like 40 pounds short or 50. I think it was they needed 723 and it was 670. Uh, I, that's close at numbers. I'm not exactly sure, but
Yeah.
Johan could tell you. But yeah, Steve 360 was here hanging out with me that week, and he had just arrived and heard about it, so he drove in from the city to the marina, and we watched him weigh it at like 2 in the morning.
Ugh.
So that
That's a
was like.
fucking heartbreak, dude.
Yeah. Well, they have their fair share, him and Steve Campbell, like they have the whole board pretty much.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm not.
Stuart Campbell, sorry, not
I have
Steve
I
Campbell.
have a great Stuart Campbell story, but I'm going to wait till I got Charles on here because Charles knows the story really well. I had the pleasure of fishing with Stuart in St. Thomas. He came down to St. Thomas and fishing with us, and what
Mhm.
a class act that guy was. He was just unbelievable. He was just a good dude, great fisherman, uh, total gearhead. He was an engineer by trade. So when he talked about fishing, he talked about it as an engineer. Everything was about your knots, about the
Yeah.
design of the
This
boat. It was, for me, it was a learning experience because of the fact that I realized we all do this for a different reason. And
he
we
breaks it down like scientific, like not scientific, but like the
like
math and like
exactly,
angles and everything behind it, and there's a reason for what you do. Which
exactly.
I appreciate. There's always a reason for what I'm doing or asking, and you may not know the reason, or
Yeah.
I'll share it with you, but
Yeah.
it's for 90% of the time, it's for a reason, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Listen, if you ask me why I'm doing something, I will tell you why I'm doing it. Now, you may say you do it a different way, and if you explain it to me a different way, I'll try it. But everything I do for a reason, and I'm also a firm believer, and I just talked to somebody about this morning, was I'm also a firm believer there's 100 different ways to do something. We all
Yeah.
do it for a different reason. And
Everyone fishes a different way. Their boats react differently. Like my boat is a tri-hull in the back. We have no meat in the water. So you have to fit a little faster to get the lures to perform correctly, to get the right wake behind the boat. You know, every boat you have to fish different. There's different techniques. You change. I've been grateful enough to fish all over the world, and I've learned little things along the way. And I go and fish on all the different multiple boats when I go to a place, and I'll see like, oh, this one does this. I don't like it. This one does this. Oh, I think that's cool. I'm gonna add that into what I do. And then I've like built the way we fish from fishing with great fishermen that have taught me stuff and all over the world. And you can adapt some things here and other things like, yeah, this may be the best, like kite fishing for sales, or they do the kite fishing for the bluefin in California. And that may be the best technique there. But if you approach it here, it doesn't work the same. You
Exactly. Exactly. And you learn, and you know how much shit I've learned by traveling the world over and watching somebody that does it completely different. I'm like,
know?
huh. Listen, I can look at something you're doing that to me is 99% wrong, but that 1% of something you're doing I had never seen. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense in this application. You,
Exactly.
you know, so that goes into the file cabinet. I got to kick something out, like somebody's name. It happens. I can't remember somebody's name anymore, but I'm going to remember how you hang something up in a clip. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
something
There's
stupid.
little techniques and tricks. I would like when I first was fishing, I did a lot of reef fishing on Miami and the Bahamas, and my buddy Clark taught me like we'd go mutton fishing, and the guy was putting 3 to 1, to me in the boat, and I was like, what are you doing different?" Like we used the line through the an extra swivel on the weight, so your line's always free going. And he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, you gotta hand feed it." He's like, "Fuck the rod, leave the rod in the rod holder, set your drag." And you hand feed it because the muttons they'll pick up the bait and swim a little and drop it and pick it up and swim a little. They don't eat it right away. And if there's any tension, you're done. And I started doing that and like hand doing it almost like you'd be free spooling a yellowtail line out of a spinner in the current. And oh, night and day difference. Like a double, like a ballyhoo plug with the hook in once and then through again. So like the whole shank's hidden. Uh, that was it. And one little thing he showed me, and then I was on it.
that's
That was it for
amazing.
the rest of the time. I could outfish everyone on the boat doing those little tricks. And little things like that I picked up across the wave. This twist rig we spoke about that I did, I never fished that. Before I came to Madeira, the biggest blue I ever caught was 350. My first day we got 800, you know? This
You
twist rig you'd never use in Florida
not in Florida. Fuck
or in the
530.
Bahamas or in the
530.
Bahamas.
Yeah, I wouldn't be using 530 in the Bahamas.
Well, we apply the same rig to like smaller leaders as well. Like
Yeah.
no, still it's not 60 or 80, but like we'll fish down to the 220 and do the same thing. And maybe I'll use, 200 or 320 pound wire, 280 to 320 instead
I
of the
love the
400.
wire trick. My rig I've always used is the double twisted mono like you're doing. But
Mhm.
I never used um,
The wire.
the wire in there. I like the wire in there.
I
I
think it
like it.
may. I want to say it was Stuart Campbell or someone. No, someone recently posted a video of doing a mono twist rig with a single piece of wire in it,
Okay.
and on Facebook. I forget who it was, but I seen that, and then I seen it's the other De Silva. I forget his first name. Is it Andy De Silva? He was out of Bermuda, caught the 13.
Alan.
Alan De Silva. Thank you. I met up with him in Panama last year, and he gave me like an original leopard lure that he caught that fish on, which is pretty
Dude,
cool.
them Bermudians love them fucking leopards, dude.
Yeah.
They
Well,
love
look
them
now, Big
leopards.
Pete, which is LS Lures, now makes the Big Pete,
Uh-huh.
which comes from our friend he's a big guy named Pete, and he had the original leopard lure that was the teaser size.
Okay.
So he ended up giving it. I have one here. Giving it to them to make a mold off of. And then now this is Ellis's version of the leopard teaser.
Put that thing up against your head. That thing looks as big as your head. It is as big as your fucking head. That thing is massive.
Yeah, but this thing, like I fished this in Azores and here before, and you can't get the fish off of it. The guy does a sick job, you know?
That's it almost looks similar to a Braziliana.
Yeah, it's got a little more taper in the middle here.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, I can't get it perfect right
No, no,
there.
you're fine. Yeah, and the funny thing is your camera's following you. You have,
Yeah, and it zooms in and out, so it's
yeah,
like a
you
pain in
got
the
the
ass.
no, 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 you got the high tech shit. I like to see you're upgraded.
This is oh, it's my girlfriend's MacBook.
No, no, shh. Listen, I didn't want to bring attention to her name in the corner, but now that you brought it,
Yeah,
uh,
it's there at the bottom. And you can get into the giant stuff. Like, here's your, we pulled this on the cup and raised one of the Koya 4X.
oh my
This thing is
gosh,
on cable. It is a beast.
that thing is massive.
This
Air,
thing sprays water like 3.5 feet up. There's what you can see. This was on the cup actually here.
what
This
the hell
one
is that?
mark on it.
Is that a bill mark?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This we were actually pulling on the cup 2 years ago, and the year Ron won, and Captain Ron in Cape Verde with that
Oh
842.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The on the dog's bullock,
Yeah, with
Stuart
Stu.
Stimson.
Yeah. So we had a fish come at the spread. Like there's this one spot here that every year almost has produced a fish on the cup. And we passed by it at the end of the day. I mark one on the sonar, like 300 yards off the side, turn towards it, and there is 30 seconds left on the clock. And I have my mic in one hand, someone next to me filming the GPS time and the spread, and we're there, and this fish is hitting everything we got. Like came up on the on a Patrick Murphy cryberry on crybaby.
Uh-huh.
Like hit that, took it out, charged all the way up, hit the teaser, drop back, hit this, and like a Nuno and Blue Macar is right there, and I'm there like screaming, like we got 10 seconds left, like please eat something, you know? It's like a solid fish. And this thing just hits every single thing in the spread, and then finally switches over to that tube and just dumps it. And I look at the thing, and it's right as a few seconds before it hit, lines out, and I called it in. It was 4:30 and 7 seconds, our hookup.
Oh,
And the fish was over 750, but I don't think it had 850, you know?
yeah,
Like it needed 850. Like even if we caught it in time, like I would have gaffed it for sure. Like I
yeah,
called Ron. I was like, send me a picture of this thing you got on the deck. I need to see I need to see some comparison, you know? And he's like, it's a real one. We're still fishing, you know? I'm like, bro, send me the picture. I know you
yeah.
have like
You
stop lying, you know? Like
you know
you
you
have
have a fucking
33, you have
picture.
freaking Max Love and Life Drone Boy on there. You got 4,000 pictures of this thing.
The
Send me
great
one.
the greatest fucking video
Dude, killed it.
that I've ever been a part of. And the only reason I was a part of it is because it was in the cup where he's got drone footage of it's getting gaffed and then jumping on the gaff.
Oh, he's only posted like clips. If you go to his YouTube page, he
Uh-huh.
has the whole video. And they had that thing on the gaff also for it was like 15 or 20 minutes. It wasn't like a short thing. They missed a gaff shot on it at the beginning. They like the one guy had a gaff and like didn't go for it, so they had to give it to the other guy. But the actual gaff shot with the fish jumping away from the boat like that and the
Bro.
epic.
Epic.
Max killed it.
Epic. Just great.
Yeah.
I remember after he sent me the photo or the video, after Ron sent me the video, I posted it. And Max, who I've never met,
Mhm.
sends me this private message on the World Cup Instagram page. Excuse me, would it be possible if you could tag me in it since I videoed it? I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry. It was sent to me
Yeah.
by Ron. Absolutely. And I tagged him in it. And It was not. It
Max,
was
Mr.
not a.
Son.
It was.
He's a good buddy. We actually stayed in his house for 2 months last year in Costa Rica, living with him and hanging with Cap. I was back and forth between Club Pelagic and his place.
Okay.
We do it, and we fish and hang out all the time.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't out of a spite. I just didn't know. It got sent to me by Ron, and I posted it up. And Max, I have some people that are uber nasty about stuff that I post. I
Mm.
never gave you permission. I go, dude, I gave you
Oh,
credit, and they asked me for. Oh, really? Okay, click. There's one particular person. I'm not mentioning names.
I
Uh,
I hope
that
it's the same person that like sent me a lawsuit letter for posting a picture of that person online, and they're like, "Take it down now." I was like, "All you had to do was ask. You didn't
yeah.
have to have your lawyers send me a letter." I was like, "Because I posted a picture of you on the boat, you know." And
I had
apparently, other people have had similar issues.
I had this person send me a note. I'm trying to be careful because I want to make sure I don't say anything to identify them.
Yeah,
Send me something. I never gave you permission to do this, that, and the other with my photo. You should ask me for permission. I'm like, well, I gave you credit. No, you have to. But I have seen on their website pictures that I've taken on their
and they're
website
using.
and they're using, and they
That's
never gave
crazy.
me fucking credit. I don't want credit. I don't.
Yeah.
I love opening up somebody's website or something. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That to me, that's my spider web of shit that I put out there. There used to be a saying, and I don't, you're maybe old enough to remember, uh, the sun never sets on Bircham, meaning that
Okay.
Bircham boats were so many places around the world that the sun would never set on them. There was always sunlight on it
On somewhere.
somewhere. And I thought that was the greatest thing because as I open up anything online, one of my pictures, one of my content, one of my something is out. I've put out so much content over the years that um, and I don't ask for a dime. I don't ask for anything. There was oh my God, the little Audrey down in Australia on the reef. They caught it was like a 1058. It was 1,000 pounder. And we went around the boat and we took a bunch of pictures as they were trying to get this thing in. And the captain called Spera and says, "Hey, I see Fly taking pictures. Could you ask him if we can buy a couple?" And before he could answer, or before he never even asked me because he knew how I do it, he goes, "No, you cannot buy them, but if you have a hard drive, he'll give them all to you." And I did.
Oh,
Just give
yeah.
me the hard drive and
And I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you. I'll give it
Yeah.
to you. And they did that night. They came over, they gave us a hard drive. And the next, whatever it was, 2 or 3 days later, when we tied up behind the same ribbon, I gave him their hard drive back. I says, "Hey, whatever it was, fuck, I think I took like 700 photos." You know, that's the greatest thing about DSLRs, man.
Yeah. But it takes that for like you'll get one good shot maybe out of that.
One.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that one I probably got like seven because there was some cool pictures of fish. They couldn't get the fish in because of the door. So there was some struggles going on. So there were some really good pictures of how they were working together on it that I thought were just classic photos.
Mhm.
And I just gave them the whole shebang. I'm like, what
Yeah.
what are you going to give me? $500?
Yeah, like I'm not charging our clients to give them the video that they paid for
No.
us of their
N-
ever trip. If you want
no.
to hire someone separately, that's like I have great f film equipment, but we offer that as like an extra thing when I can reach for it. If we're busy fishing, like we're not there capturing the moment. So if you
Yeah.
want to bring someone like Max or these other guys that do that
Yeah.
with you, you're more than welcome to bring them. They'll get epic drone footage that's their thing. They're there all day to make sure when your moment comes that we got it. And sometimes those videos are like the best ones, you know?
Exactly.
Like look at like we said that Blue Marlin shot from the gaff shot. Unless you were like, and again, they've been on the fish already fighting for a while, so you launch the drone. This when you're the mate, that's the last thing you're thinking about is filming at that point. You want to get your hands on the leader. You want to get the fish to the boat. So you bring someone dedicated for that, fantastic. You know, you
Yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm all about it. Capture the moment. I'm okay with it. But for me, yeah, I just give them away. I don't.
Yeah.
Here, go.
I do the same. We
I
send it if you want it. I was like, I'll edit it a few times. Like sometimes, if like when someone's learning and we're coaching or have someone new on the boat, I'll edit part of it out if there's a mess up or something. I'm not trying to. You put one thing wrong that a mate does online now, and it's 80 messages of oh, I don't do this, I don't do that, you shouldn't do this, you're barefoot, you need to wear sneakers, or they grab the line
uh,
too many times. I don't care, they're learning. They're
I
gonna make mistakes. You know what? They'll be good in a year. Give
I
it to them.
it's so funny because you know Tiny?
No.
Jason Walcott, super nice guy, been
Okay.
around forever. He this has been a while ago. This is probably 7, 8 years ago. He goes, "Man, I got to commend you." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You don't care what anybody says. You just post whatever you're doing online. Even when you fuck up." I go, "We all fuck up. I,
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. I fuck up. Listen, there's sometimes I get caught in a bind, but it's a cool video.
Yeah.
You want to make fun of me? Make fun of. I don't
I got all you
care.
guys to talk shit back and forth. Like they did, like
Yeah,
Frothy goes live a lot, like people don't understand how difficult that is. First, you
that's
have your anglers and your crew, and you have everything to go perfect every single time, especially when you have new crew that's learning in an industry here that it's not like you can go take wraps like you do in the Caribbean, where you're just like whop whop and you can grab it however and then pop the line. I've
yeah,
had guys fish with me that are captains, professional. I hope he sees this. And he's been doing it. He taught me when I was a kid on how to do things. And he came to the boat and took wraps wrong. And we're like, he's like, oh, the leader's getting caught on the bottom of my glove when I go to dump the fish. I was like, that's because you didn't hit it with. You're supposed to do like thumbs up, wave at the
yeah,
fish. So the line starts here, and when you take your wraps, it's always controlled in front of your thumb. If you start backhand, which people think is fine, you come back like this and take your wrap. Now the line to your rod tip's under your wrist instead of above it.
yeah,
And then if you're wearing these big like Hugo de Silva gloves or the AFCO real thick yellow ones, the
yeah.
line can get caught on the bottom of your glove and cause a problem. And those little things, like I know three people in Madeira that have lost part of their fingers, if not all of it, from messing up on the leader or on a reel. One just happened 2 years ago. Tip is, did the drag wrong, reached into the reel, finger gone, instant.
People don't realize it. Man, you got to be careful.
Hmm.
I mean, we're not playing around here.
Yeah, it's a mistake. There's people that ended up there's that guy in Canaries last year. He grabbed the leader. The fish did like a switch over to the starboard corner, like shot that way, and he went to step over the footrest of the chair and just yoked him right into the water. You know? Yeah, I'll
He,
send you the video. I have
oh
it.
yeah, so
Yeah.
he lifted his feet up.
Yeah, he went to take a step, and the fish just like it doesn't show you the whole video. It crossed
Yeah.
this way, and he's on the left side of the chair, and then the fish jumps like that way, and he's already like full extend, not like elbow in, and he just got yanked. And that was it.
The best description I've ever heard. Again, I'm going to give another shout out to my man Charles Perry. If your arms are bent, you're pulling. If your arms are straight, you're just holding on.
Yeah.
You're just
Straight
holding
up.
on, man.
Like,
You
I
know?
tell people like, and when like I'll see people take wraps, some you reach real far out in front of you, or some here. Every time you're out, you like lean forward to take a wrap far in front of you like this. At that point, you have no more leverage.
You're
Like
done.
you have your fingertips on the gunnel, maybe your shins. But if that fish decides to do a head shake or anything here, when your back is straight and your elbows in, you have the all this like movement
All
to bring your
leverage.
arm forward and back and like have a little more control. I've
It-
seen plenty of times you're doing that and the leader pops and the fucking mate will go 3 feet or 4 feet backwards, falling down from the tension that was on
from
that.
what he's holding on.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so much. I tore something in my shoulder here. I was wiring a bluefin, and it's 100% my fault. It was doing that death spiral, and it was coming up. And I'm like, I just need to hold it to make that last turn, and then it's going to come back to me, and I'm going to get 6 foot. And I'm going, and just at the last, it get a little kick, and I tore
Mhm.
something right here, and I felt it. It go.
Ooh.
I'm like, and uh, I've been dealing with it ever since. But it was a mistake on my part. It was like the judgment. Okay, he's on his upturn. He's on his upturn. How much do I need to give him? Can I get away with just a few more?
Well,
Yeah,
there's always that second where you're like, I pulled harder than this, like
yeah.
I think I got it.
And
I've seen
it's not even a pull. It's just I gotta hold till he finishes the circle.
yeah, but I'm saying like you already know you've put more tension on the
Oh,
line before, so you're
oh,
like, oh, I
one.
could, I could,
Yeah,
I could hang.
I could hold this. I can hold
Yeah,
this. No,
yeah,
no. I'm getting old.
yeah. I have to get up for 1 second here. I'll
Listen,
be right back.
no, you know what? Let's wrap it up here because it's already
Okay.
2 hours. Let people know how they can get a hold of you.
Madeira Sportfishing on Instagram or Facebook.
Pretty simple.
It's pretty simple. We got a website, madeirasportfishingluna.com. Soon sorted will be added. All the information for that will be added in the next week or so to there. But Facebook, Instagram, you can reach out
Perfect.
to them.
On that note,
Yeah.
Alex, I want to say thank you to you, everybody that's listening. Thank you so much for listening to us. Check out what Alex is doing out in Madeira, and we will check you guys later.